So welcome everyone to our Hatha practice. I'm going to start in a seated posture. So find your way into a comfortable seat. If you want, you can sit on a pillow or a blanket. And sitting up tall, bringing your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. Relaxing your arms, your hands down on your knees and closing your eyes. As you close your eyes, you begin to block out whatever is in your immediate visual field and allow yourself to tune in. Feel your awareness turning inside and your body starting to release. You're not really working on the breath, you're just allowing your breath to flow in and out through your nose. It just happens naturally and even. Your eyes closed, you're resting the muscles of your face, relaxing your forehead and your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Softening the ears, around the ears, behind them. Releasing your throat, the sides, and the back of your neck. Your shoulders soften down. You can release the weight of your arms, feeling the weight resting through the palms and onto your knees. You're still fairly tall here, but you're inviting softness into the body at the same time, and I want you to bring your awareness into your heart center. While the breath continues to roll in and out through your nose, you're going to check in the space around and behind your heart. Give yourself permission to soften. Softening around through, above, below, behind your heart space. The weight of your upper body rests down through the basket of the hips, and you can feel your sits bones softening down into the ground. Keeping the core engaged to hold you tall, but still keeping this nice length of balance between the work and the softness of being in the posture. Relax your legs, your thighs, your knees, your shins, and your calves. Soften your ankles and the tops of your feet, heels, the soles of your feet, your toes. And just really being present inside of your body. Are there any areas inside that you are still holding or tightening more than you need to? What can you soften? And from here, while you stay tall, we're going to begin to take a more intentional breath. Taking your next inhale deeper into your belly. Let your belly fill on up here. And as you exhale, draw your belly button back, release the breath out through the nose. Again, inhale, you fill your belly first, then fill into your ribs. And exhale, draw your belly back. Release your ribs. To the 3-part breath, inhale, fill your belly first, then fill your ribs. Now breathe up into your chest and let the breath go. Now the breath becomes nice and smooth as you inhale, you fill from the bottom up to the top of your lungs. And as you exhale, you soften that breath away and it becomes a nice, fluid, rhythmic breath. This attention to the breath helps you to stay centered in the practice. It keeps you present in the moment. You're able to gauge how the practice is flowing for you. So let's keep that flowing. If you like, bring your hands up into prayer at your heart center, lifting your beautiful heart up into your hands, really connecting in with your heart center. Can you feel or hear, sense your heartbeat? That beautiful energy that lives right there. And now if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, feel free to set an intention. It can be something that you would like to invite into your life. It could be someone or something you would like to dedicate the practice to. Something special to you. So come up with a word or a short sentence to reflect your intention. And you can repeat it in your mind 3 times. When you're ready, your head bows to your heart, sealing your intention. And we're going to lift our gaze, sitting up nice and tall. Sweep your arms out to the side. When you're ready, palms of your hands are facing up to the sky. And inhale, lift your arms on up. Maybe you're going to look up as well and turn the palms out. Exhale, reach through the fingertips back down to the earth. Good. Again, inhale, turn the palms, lengthen through the sides of your body as you straighten out the arms up to the sky. Palms extend. Exhale, arms back down to the earth. Good. Let's do one more time. Inhale, float your arms on up. Find that length, open up the sides of the body. And this exhale will twist to the right. Bring your right arm behind you to hold you tall and your left arm outside of that right knee. Now breathing in, let's lengthen your spine. Keep those shoulders soft. And as you breathe out, draw your belly button in and engage the twist, gently looking back. So the inhale is always going to keep your spine tall. And the exhale helps you go into the twist as you press that left hand outside the knee. Maybe looking back a little bit more, and one more breath in. Soften shoulders. Exhale, twist. Good. We're going to come back to face forwards. Bring your arms out to the side. And again, inhale, lift your arms on up. And exhale, twist to the opposite side, over to the left. Now left arm is behind you, holding you tall, and your right hand's outside the knee. Breathe in. And breathe out, gently looking back. So we're just working with the flow of the breath. Lengthen as you inhale and twist with your exhale. We'll do one more round of breath. Soften shoulders, inhale and exhale. Good, let's come back to face forwards. Nice and easy, arms come out to the side again. Inhale, lift your arms on up. And exhale, let's come into a forward fold. Maybe your forearms are going to come down onto the ground, or maybe your hands are going to be on the ground here. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle, bringing your forearms onto blocks or books or whatever you might be using. And just take a moment here and give yourself permission to softly, gently, slowly move your torso, swaying from side to side between the thighs. I'm just going to do that up here for a moment to tune into the sensations in the low back, the sides of the body. And just check out what you're feeling. Easing your way into the space. And once you feel like you've had enough of that little movement, slow it down a tiny bit at a time until you become still and let your body get heavy for another 3. Let your head soften down. 2. Relax your low back. 1. Inhale, nice and easy. Let's roll yourself on back up. Beautiful. And as you come on up, bring your hands behind you so your fingertips can either point towards your glutes or to the sides, a little bit to the sides of the mat. Uncross your legs and bring your feet mat or hip distance apart. With an inhale, let's float the hips up. Mindful of your shoulders, try to draw the hips up to about shoulder height, and then exhale, lower the hips down. You may notice that a lot in the shoulders, so be careful there. Inhale, lift the hips up, tuck the tailbone to the space behind the knees, looking straight to the sky, and exhale, lower the hips on back down. Good, we're going to do that again. Inhale, lift your hips on up. And exhale, lower. Good, right away, let's cross your ankles and roll over your knees, come into a tabletop pose. So tabletop in the middle of your mat, shoulders over wrists with fingers spread wide, hips over knees, and now inhale to soften your belly down, tilt your tailbone up. We're coming into cow pose here. And exhale, round through your cat back, press the ground away from you with the hands as you tuck the tail down and round up through the shoulder blades. So just notice what's going on as you move through this. Inhale, softens your belly down. And you gaze forwards, and exhale, rounds through your activated cat back with the chin into the chest as you press that earth away. Feel the low back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Shine your heart forwards. And exhale, round through your cat back. Good. So we're going to come back into a neutral spine here. Keep the shoulders back. Your shoulders are right over those wrists, but they're not pulling in towards the neck. Now use your inhale and float your right hand and your left foot up to shoulder and hip height. Reach through that left heel, and exhale, come into a little ball. Knee to the nose and right elbow to the hip. And then again, inhale, lengthen nice and strong. And exhale, bring it in nice and small. Again, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bring it in. Good, so we're gonna replace the hand and the knee back down onto the ground and go to the other side. Toes tucked under is helpful here. Inhale, left hand, right foot to shoulder and hip height. Exhale, bring it in nice and small. Belly to the spine, maybe round up through that right shoulder blade. And again, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bring it in. Again, inhale. And exhale. This is the last one. Inhale, reach. And exhale, replace the hand and the knee back down to the ground. Good. So now we're going to send the hips back towards the heels. Toes are touching. Watch the fingertips as far forwards. Walk those fingertips as far forwards as you can. And now with your next in-breath, we're going to ripple forwards like you're rounding through a cat back. You're going to go as far forwards as you can so the hips sink down. Shoulders are approximately underneath the wrists as you look ahead of you. Keep those shoulders back as well. And then exhale, hips back to the heels. So try and let the movement be fluid like a wave rippling forwards. Inhale. Hips soften, heart opens, maybe looking up, and exhale. Send it back. Keep the hands in the same place the whole movement. So again, inhale, ripple. Shift it forwards. Soften the hips. Shine your heart. And exhale, sending it on back. Okay, from here, bring yourself up onto your knees. So shoulders, hips, and knees are aligning here, coming into our camel pose. Bring the heel of your hands to the tops of your glutes or wrap them around your hips. Pressing, so the tops of your feet are on the ground. Press the shins down. Lift your heart up. Drawing your elbows closer together. Shoulder blades can squeeze a little bit together here as well. Tuck your tailbone down. Maybe you're looking straight up to the ceiling. If that's too much for your neck, then just look up a little bit to the space where the ceiling and the wall meet ahead of you. So we're trying to take the arching up high in the low back, up high in the back, not in the low back. That's why we pull the belly button in and scoot the tailbone down, lift the heart up, and squeeze shoulder blades together. Good. One more breath in and out. Good. Bring the hands back down to the ground. Sit back in child's pose just for a moment. Let the low back decompress just for a couple breaths. So 3 and 2 and 1. Good. So we're going to walk the hands forward. Let's come back into a tabletop pose. Again, shoulders over wrists, knees over or hips over knees. And you can tuck the toes under. Inhale, right hand and left foot up to shoulder and hip height like we did before. Exhale, bring it into a little ball. Nice and tiny. And again, inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, bring it in small. One more time, inhale, lengthen and hold here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, I want you to bend that left knee so the sole of your foot is parallel to the ceiling. Take the right hand behind you, wrap it to hold the top of the left foot. Press your foot into the hand. Look ahead of you. Taking 3. Really press that foot into the hand. 2 and 1. Nice and easy. Let's replace the hand and the foot back down to the ground. Good. So now you're going to tuck the left toes under and inhale. Left hand, right foot straight out and back. And exhale, bring it back in. Nice small ball. Again, inhale, lengthen. Float this body long. Exhale, bring it in small. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. That was probably the one we were supposed to go into the back bend. Let's go again. Inhale. And from here, you're going to bend that right foot, bring the right knee, bring the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. Wrap the left hand around you, behind you. Hold the top of that right foot. Press your foot into your hand. Press the right hand into the ground. Open up your heart. The more you press your foot into the hand, the deeper you will go. One more breath in and out. Good. Let's bring the hand and the foot back down to the ground. Sit back on your heels for 3. Forehead to the ground, 2. And 1. Good. So tuck your toes under, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Going to take a moment here in downward dog and walk it out, bending one knee, letting the other heel get closer to the earth, and then shifting, going back and forth a few times here. Walking your dog just to feel a little awakening in the back of the body. And once you've had enough movement, you can release the heels a little closer to the ground, pressing the hands into the earth, pressing the ground away from you. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the sides of your body, lift your hips up to the sky. Your head is heavy, you're looking between the knees, and in the hands, you're pressing into the thumb and the index finger. I'm going to take one more breath in here. And out. Let's come onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, look up to the top of your mat and step it forwards. Okay, once you get to the top of your mat, lift your heart, come into a flat back, and exhale, bow forwards. Inhale, let's lift up strong, coming all the way up to standing. And exhale your hands into prayer. Awesome, so let's go to mountain pose, palms of your hands facing forwards, arms straight out beside you. Your big toes are pressing into the ground, all the other toes spread out and hold the earth as well. I want you to really take a moment here to connect in with the earth. Feel that solid foundation beneath you. Your navel is drawing in, your tail is drawing down, so your core is engaged. Your heart is floating up. With your next inhale, float your arms on up to the sky, reaching on up, and exhale, bow it forwards, hands to the ground. Inhale, lift your heart flat back. Exhale, just step the right foot back. Give it a good shimmy as far back as you can. Then bring that right knee to the ground. If you need to cushion it, slide something underneath there. And inhale, float up into a low lunge. Let the weight of your hips sink down. And shoulders soften. Take a full breath in. And out. We're coming into cactus arms now. Bring your arms into a 90-degree angle bend. Flip the palms of your hands to face up towards the sky. Lift your heart up. Inhale, reach the fingertips back, looking maybe up to the sky. Exhaling here, see if you can bring your elbows a little closer behind your back. And from here, interlacing your hands. Your next inhale slides the hands down that back leg as you lift your heart up to the sky. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take one more breath in and out. Releasing the hold of the hands, let's bring the hands back down to either side of that front foot. Pick up the back knee, rock a little bit, and step that right foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart flat back. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, let's lift up, coming up nice and strong. Good. And exhale, bow forwards. Hands touch the ground. Inhale, shine your heart, lift it up. Exhale, left foot's going to slide back. Give it a good shimmy back there as far as you can. The knee comes to the ground. Again, cushion here if you need to. Sometimes one knee is worse than the other. And inhale, float your arms on up. Release the shoulders down. Good. So you're aligning the knee and the ankle, that right knee and ankle. The shoulders are releasing. The weight of the pelvis sinks towards the earth. Take a breath in and out. We're going to come into our cactus arms now, 90-degree angle bend in the arms and flipping the palms of the hands to face towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift the heart up, reach the fingertips back. Exhale, elbows draw closer together behind your back. And now hands interlace. And inhale, slide the hands down that back leg. Squeezing shoulder blades, shining your heart up, sinking the hips down. One more breath in. And exhale, release the hands back down to either side of that front foot. Pick up the back knee. Get a little momentum here to step that back foot to the front of your mat. Come into a flat back. Lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, let's float up strong, coming on up to standing. And exhale, let's bow it forwards, hands to the earth. Inhale, shine your heart. Gaze forwards. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. So one foot at a time, steps to the back of the mat. Your heels are high over the toes. Let's get strong here in our plank poses. You're pressing the ground away through the hands. You're rounding up through the shoulder blades. Your belly button is pulling in. Your hips are not sinking. Pretend you're pulling your tailbone towards your heels and your heels back towards your tailbone. Nice strong legs. Take another breath in. And with your exhale, release the knees first. Keep your bum where it is. Bend the elbows back so they brush the ribs and your chest and chin touch down to the ground. Your bum stays in the air there. Now slide forwards, baby cobra. Inhale. Roll the shoulders back. Press the tops of your feet to the mat. And exhale, tuck the toes under, straighten the arms. Press back to down dog. Good. We'll just take a moment here, checking in with your downward dog. How does it feel for you? Nice length. Strong arms. Take another breath in and out. Come onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, look back to the top of your mat and step forwards. From there, come into your flat back. Inhale and exhale, fold. Inhale, let's lift up and come on up strong. Reach the arms up to the sky, and this exhale, we're going to come straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart, shoulders are back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Take a breath in plank. Exhaling, maybe knees, chest, chin, or perhaps you want chaturanga this time. Lead with your heart if it's chaturanga. Bend the elbows back so they squeeze the ribs. Then float yourself into up dog. Shoulders are back. Maybe you're doing baby cobra, that's okay. And now, as you exhale, pull your belly button in. Let's roll back over the toes to down dog. If your downward dog feels a little long, then shorten it. You want to feel like your body's in an upside down V shape with the tailbone floating as high as it can up to the sky. Your chest close to those thighs, heels near the earth. Straight arms. If your head is feeling a little uncomfortable here, your neck, give it a nod and shake. That feels good. If you feel like you need that. Okay, so from here, inhale your right leg up to the sky. Bring it up nice and high. And as you exhale, step that right foot up to the space between the hands. Turn the left foot out a little bit, heel on the ground, and inhale to lift your way up into warrior one. Good, so softening the shoulders here in your warrior one, navel to the spine, nice deep bend in the front knee, the back heel is on the ground. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Let's come into our cactus arms, that 90-degree angle bend in the arms again, like we did from our low lunge. Flip the palms, lift the heart up as you reach the thumbs back. And exhale, elbows draw closer together behind you, interlacing the hands. Inhale, slide the hands down that back leg. Squeeze, shoulder blades, lift your heart up. And exhale, let's bow forwards. Bow to the inside of the right leg, humble warrior. Your arms can maybe lift up over your head. You are looking straight down to the inside of the right foot. Reach the fingers away from you, those hands away from you. One more breath in and out. We're going to lead up with the hands. Let the hands lead. Lift yourself on back up. Release the grip of the hands. Float your arms back up into warrior one. Inhale. And exhale, bring the hands back down to either side of the front foot. Let's step back to plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin, or if it's chaturanga, bend the elbows, let them squeeze the ribs, then float into your up dog. You can do baby cobra, remember. Exhale, let's go back to down dog. Good. Let's take 3 breaths. Check in with the length of your dog. You can shorten it if you need to. Remember, a little bend in your knees keeps length in your spine, which is the most important part of your dog. Another breath in and out. Inhale your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step that left foot up to the space between the hands. Turn the right foot out, right heel on the ground, and float on up to your warrior one here on the other side. Good, so the right foot is just turned out enough so that you can anchor that heel down and keep the hips square. Left hip back, right hip forwards. Release the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Coming into those cactus arms again. Flipping the palms to face up towards the sky. Inhale, lift your heart up, draw the fingertips back. Exhale, elbows draw closer together and hands interlace behind your back. Inhale, slide those hands down the back leg, squeezing shoulder blades together, lift up the heart, and exhale, bow into your humble warrior. So you're bowing again to the inside of the left thigh. Interlaced hands may lift up off the glutes and maybe drop overhead. Looking down to the inside of the left foot. Breathe into the shoulder blades. One more inhale. And exhale. Leading with the hands. Reach the hands back to slowly lift yourself on back up. Release the hold of the hands and float them back up into your warrior one. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, hands come back down to either side of that front foot. Let's step it back to our plank pose. Breathe in. Exhaling, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. You do what feels right. Inhale to float into your up dog or your baby cobra. Keep the shoulders back and lift your heart. And exhale, let's roll back over the toes. Downward facing dog. Good, so we'll be here for 3. Downward dog is your opportunity to recollect the breath. Check in, notice how you're feeling. Get present. When you're ready, you come back up onto the tippy toes, bend your knees and look back up to the top of the mat. Step it forwards. Lift up into a flat back, open up your heart. Exhale, bow over the legs. Inhale to float up strong to standing, lifting all the way up to the sky. And exhale your hands into prayer. Beautiful. So we're going to play now with some modifications of Sun Salutation B. Hands beside you, palms facing forwards. Coming into chair pose to begin. Bend the knees, float the arms up next to the ears. Look for the toes. Release the arching in the back. Take another in breath. And exhale, bow forwards over the legs. Inhale, flat back, open up your heart. And exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Take a breath in. And exhaling again, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. See how your body feels this round. Slide it forwards, coming into your baby cobra. The pelvis presses down, so do the tops of the feet as you look ahead of you, or you're an up dog. Then exhale, pull the belly button in, and let's go back to down dog. Now turn your left foot out a little bit so that left heel's on the ground, and inhale your right leg on up to the sky. Bring it up nice and high. Exhale, shift it forward. Step that right foot up to the space between the hands, keeping the left heel on the ground. Float on up into your warrior one. So far, so good. Regular Sun Salutation B. Take another inhale. And exhale. We're opening up into warrior two. Right arm forwards, left hand back. So now you're going to turn the angle of that left foot so it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Looking over the right fingertips forwards. Navel in, tail down, shoulders right over those wrists. We're going to exalt this warrior. Flip the right palm, float it up and overhead as you slide the left hand down the back of that left leg. Softening that right shoulder, breathing into the side body, looking at one spot. Take another inhale. And then exhale is floated back up to warrior two. Breathe it in. And let's go to extended side angle pose. Right elbow to the knee. Circle the left arm down. Then bring that left bicep next to the ear. Perhaps you're looking up to the sky. Lengthening from left baby toe side of the foot all the way up the length of the body to the fingers. You take one more breath in here. And out. Good, so we're going to look down towards the right foot. Open up the right arm. Maybe you can press the hand to the inside of the shin, then slide that right hand down to the ground, or maybe a block inside of the right foot. Maybe staying here, pressing the right shoulder into the right knee, or playing with binding, bringing the left hand to the right hip. Sinking the right shoulder underneath the right thigh, perhaps reaching behind you for wrists. Left hand holding onto right wrist or fingertips, or hold your shirt. You lift the heart open. Lengthen the tailbone back. Maybe look to the sky. Take one more breath in and out. If you've bound, release your bind. Bring that right hand back down inside of the right foot. Lead up with the left hand and float your way back up into your warrior two. And straighten that right leg. Take an inhale. And now exalt this triangle. Flip the right palm. Exhale. Right arm overhead. Left arm slides down the back of the left leg or it wraps around your back. Softening that upper shoulder. Both legs are straight here. And hips and shoulders are open to the long edge of your mat. Your next inhale floats you back up. Now we're setting up for triangle. You can take a little slide of that left hip back first and then reach with the right hand. As you reach with the right hand, keep the low side of the torso, the right side of the torso long, and then just soften that right hand down and float the left arm up. Maybe you're looking up towards the left hand. So this is where you may want to use a block if you have blocks. You can have a block inside of the right foot. On the high height, the hand can land there if that works for you. Take one more breath in. Pretend that you're leaning into a wall behind you, stacking shoulders and hips. And let's lift back up. Inhale. Take a bend into that front knee, cartwheel the hands to either side of the front foot. And let's step back to downward facing dog. Good. So you may want to walk your dog out a little bit here. Feel free to give it a little walk if that feels good. And then we're going to switch over to the other side. Take a little turn of the right foot out. Keep the heel on the ground and inhale left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step that left foot up to the space between the hands. Keeping right heel on the ground, let's float up into warrior one here on this side. All right, the shoulders are soft. You're curling the right hip forward, then the left hip back. Nice and deep in that front knee. Take a breath in. And open up to warrior two, right arm back, left arm forward. So aligning the feet here, so that back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. The front heel and back heel are somewhat aligned. Release the shoulders, belly in, tail down. You can see the big toe inside of that right and left knee. The breath is flowing. We're going to exalt this warrior. Flip the palm, float it up and overhead. Left palm floats up and overhead. Slide the right hand down the back of that right leg. Or wrap it around your back. Still bent nice and deep in that left knee. Your next inhale lifts you back up. Warrior two. Setting up for side angle pose. Left elbow to the knee, palm facing up and circle the right arm down. And then bring that right bicep next to the ear. Stacking right shoulder over left and lengthening the whole right side of your body. Pick one spot to look at. I like to look towards the ceiling. That might not work for you. You choose. Get as long as you can here. Tuck your tailbone towards the right heel. Really long. Take another breath in. And out. And look down towards the left foot. Let's extend that left arm down inside of the leg. Bring the foot to the ground. Right arm floats up to the sky. Maybe you'll stay here, pressing the left shoulder into the left knee. Or maybe you're going to go a little bit deeper towards playing with your bind, bringing the back of the right hand towards the left hip, softening the left shoulder underneath the knee, underneath the thigh, wrapping behind you here. So now maybe your left hand holds onto the right wrist. Lead your heart forwards. It's easy to fall in here. I want you to open up that heart, pull the tailbone back, look up to the ceiling if you can. Take one more breath in. And out. If you have bound, you're releasing your bind. Left hand comes back inside of the left foot. Right arm floats back up. And lead with the right hand. Lift yourself up. Warrior two. From here, straighten the legs. And let's flip the left palm. Exalted triangle. Left arm up and overhead. Right hand down the back of the right leg or wrapping it around your back. Take an in breath. And out. Float it back up. Playing with triangle now, let's slide the right hip back and reach with the left hand. Reach as far as you can with that left hand until you can't reach anymore. Keep that low side of the body long. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left shin or the top of the shin and float your right arm straight on up. Good again. So remember your options. You can have a block here if you're using props. And find one spot to look at. If the low side of your torso is getting shorter than the upper side, don't go so low. You want to keep length. Reach from the tail to the crown. Both legs are straight, leaning to an imaginary wall behind you. Tucking your right hip back, left hip under. One more in breath and out. We're going to lead up with the right hand. Let's float back up into warrior two. Deep bend in that front knee. Take an inhale. And exhale, you cartwheel the hands back to either side of that front foot. Let's step back to downward facing dog. And walk your dog out. Good. Just a few breaths here in your downward dog. Moving however you feel you need to. Or being still, it's all good too. When you're ready, come on to your tippy toes and shift forwards, high plank. Exhaling, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Keep the elbows holding the ribs. If it's chaturanga, then float into your up dog. Let the hips be heavy and lift the knees if you're an up dog. Shoulders are back. Now exhale, let's roll back over your toes, come into downward facing dog. Good, we're here for 3. Little bend in the knees, 2. Lift the tail high, 1. Back onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward, step, or maybe hop on up to the top of your mat. Once you're there, inhale into your flat back. Exhale, bow over the legs. Let's come back into chair pose. Bend the knees, bring the arms up next to the ears. Soften shoulders. Hips can go back here a little bit, so maybe you can see if you can see your toes. Bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Take an inhale, lift your heart up, so find some space in the front of the body. Now as you exhale, you're twisting to the right. Bring the left elbow outside of the right knee and press the right palm into the left, helping you to twist, looking up to the ceiling. All right, so your left hip is going to curl back. And try to keep the knees parallel to each other. If you want to float the arms open for your next inhale, go for it. Right arm to the sky, left arm down. One more breath in. And exhale, let's forward fold. Fold over those legs. Inhale, lift your heart flat back. Exhale, fold over your legs. One more time, flat back, breathe in. Exhale, fold it forwards. Let's come back into chair pose. Bend your knees, bring the arms up next to the ears. Navel draws in, shoulders are soft. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Breathe in, lift your heart up. And breathe out to twist to the left. Bring the right elbow outside of the left knee. Press the left palm into the right. So you want a long spine here from tail to crown, getting long. And as you exhale, draw your belly button in to help you twist, pressing left palm into right. Curl right hip back. Look to the ceiling if you can. One more breath in. Lift your head if it's heavy. And breathe out. Perhaps floating the arms open on the next inhale. And exhale. One more time. In breath. And exhale, let's fold over your legs. Flat back, breathe in. Lift your heart up. Exhale, fold over the legs. One more time, flat back, open your heart. And exhale, bow forwards. Let's come up strong to standing. Press your feet into the ground, lift your arms on up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, hands into prayer. Awesome. So let's take a moment in mountain pose. Your feet have the big toes touching, a little bit of space between the heels. I really want you to take a moment, if it's okay for you to close your eyes, closing them, and feel your connection with the earth. And feel your toes gripping, holding onto the ground. Feel your heels anchoring down into the earth. Lift energy up through the soles of your feet, that beautiful earth energy. Energizing your body, lifting up the kneecaps, strengthening the thighs. Your belly draws in, your tail scoots down, your heart shines up. Shoulder blades release down your back. Bring your chin in towards your throat and lengthen through the back of your neck. And the crown of your head to the sky. So just take a moment here and breathe. You're active. This is strong. Another inhale. And exhale. This in-breath, let's float the arms out to the side and up to the sky. Exhale, bow forwards, hands to the ground. Inhale, lift your heart, flat back. Exhale, just the right foot steps back. Plant those hands, step the right foot back, and bring the right knee to the ground. As you bring that right knee to the ground, you're going to straighten out that left leg, send the hips back. Good. We're going to shift back and forth a few times here. Inhale, shift forwards. Left foot comes to the ground, hips are heavy. Look ahead of you. Exhale, send the hips back. Straighten out that left leg, flex that foot, press the heel into the ground. Inhale, shifting it forwards. Exhale, rounding it back. Good, so we're going to stay here. Maybe your hands are on blocks because it's a little hard to reach, and that's okay. Maybe your hands are on the ground, or maybe you can walk the hands a little more forwards. Let's lengthen the front of your body. Inhale and lift. Exhale, draw your belly button in and bow forwards over the left leg. You're going to keep that right hip softening forwards and left hip curling back and noticing how that changes the sensations in the back of that left leg. Flex the foot, toes to you, heel presses down. Each exhale, you soften a little bit deeper into the pose. One more breath in and out. Good, so we're shifting forwards now. Bring the left foot back down to the ground and your left hand inside of that left foot. We're coming into a lizard lunge. Slide the left foot a little bit over to the left side of your mat. From here in lizard lunge, you can keep the right knee on the ground or you can lift it up. It's up to you. Let the hips get heavy. Softening the weight of the body down through the hip joints. If you have space to go deeper with your forearms, you can bring your forearms down onto your prop if you have one, or all the way down to the ground. You see what works for you here. Just sink into this. I'm going to take one more breath in and out. If you came down onto the forearms, come back up onto your hands. Remove any props if you're using them. The right knee comes back down to the ground. And now we're setting up for pigeon. Let's slide that left foot, heel toe it over towards the right side of your mat. As it comes over to the right side of the mat, you can bring the shin down to the ground. Left foot stays in flexion. Untuck the right toes. Slide the hips down, right foot back. So some of you may want a pillow or a blanket or some kind of prop underneath your left hip if the hips are not level, then slide it on underneath there. Walk your hands in toward your body to come into a nice upright pigeon. Inhale. And exhale, let's come on down. Bring the forearms maybe to blocks, maybe to the ground. Maybe some of you can come all the way down flat onto your ground, onto the earth, extending the arms out ahead of you. Forehead either on a block or on the ground. Now I want you to pay attention to how you feel here in the pose. It will be obvious if your left knee hurts, and if it does, I'm taking you into something else. If you're okay here, stay here. Pain in your left knee, go to the left hip. Slide the right leg forwards. Come down onto your back. Bring the right foot to the ground, cross the left knee over the right ankle. So you'll come into figure four on your back instead. If the left knee is hurting, in pigeon. You can take your figure four deeper by picking up the right foot off the ground and interlacing your hands behind the right thigh. Drawing right knee closer, right thigh closer as you press the left knee away from you. So that's your option if pigeon isn't for you. And we're going to be here for another 5. Let your body get heavy. 4. Sink here, nothing to hold on to. 3. Release. 2. And 1. Okay, so if you're laying down right on the belly, start to walk your hands back in towards your body. If you're on the forearms, come back up onto the hands. I go for a little extra from here. If you're feeling it, you can stay here and just lift the heart and sink the hips and breathe. And if you want to go a little extra, bring the left hand in front of you to anchor you. Cartwheel the right arm back, bend the right knee, and reach for the inside top of the foot. So maybe that's available to you. Maybe it's not. It's okay. You don't have to do it. You can just stay in upright pigeon. That's really good too. If you're looking to go a little bit deeper, maybe float the left arm, see if you can play with your balance. Possibly you can bring the right toes into the elbow, the crease of the elbow, and sweep the left arm up and overhead, coming toward your bind. So see how that feels for you. Just take the option that suits you. And every day is a little bit different, so release expectation. One more inhale. And if you come all the way into the bind, wherever you are here, actually, let's just release that right foot back down to the ground. Hands come back shoulder distance apart. Tuck the right toes under, pick up the knee, and let's go back to downward facing dog. Just a few breaths here in your down dog. Maybe a little movement. Good. For another 3 and 2 and 1. Come on to your tippy toes, bend your knees, look back, look to the top of the mat, and step or hop it forwards. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, sweep yourself up nice and strong to standing. And exhale, bow it forwards, hands back to the earth. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, left foot slides back. Give it a good shimmy back there as far as you can. Bring the left knee to the ground. Straighten the right leg, send the hips back. Good, so we'll do that 2 more times. Shifting forwards, inhale. Hips are heavy, maybe open up the heart if you can. Lift the chest and exhale. Send it back. Flexion in that right foot, bow over the leg. 1 more time, inhale, shifting it forwards. And exhale, sending it back. Awesome. Now this is where we're going to hang out for a bit. Either the hands stay here, or they're on blocks, or they go forwards. Flex that right foot. Press the right heel into the ground. Curl your left hip forwards. Lift the heart. Make some space in the front body. Breathe in. And exhale, navel to the spine. Bow forwards over the leg. For 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Let's look forward. Shift the weight back to the right foot. Straighten out that left leg behind you. Right hand comes inside of the right foot. Maybe the right foot goes a little bit more to the side so your shoulders and the wrists can align. Come into your lizard lunge. Remember your options. The left knee can stay on the ground if you want. You can tuck those right toes under. Pick up the knee, left toes under. Pick up the left knee if that's better for you. Maybe taking it deeper, forearms to the ground or to your blocks. And breathe. Let gravity do a lot of the work here for you. Feel the energizing qualities of your inhale and the softening, releasing qualities of the exhale. So we're going to start to gently come on up out of the pose. If you came down onto forearms or blocks, bring your hands back to the ground. Bring that left knee to the ground if you lifted it. And heel toe the right foot over to the left side of the mat, setting up for our pigeon. All right, so the right foot goes over to the left side. Bring the right knee to the ground. Sink the hips. Untuck the left toes. Look behind you for a fairly straight line from the left shoulder to the hip to the heel. Sit up tall in your pigeon, upright pigeon. Breathe it in. And breathe it out. Come on down to your sleeping pigeon. Now again, if this pose is not for you, if your right knee is saying, take me out of this, it's not for me, then we will. Then you'll curl over to the right hip. You'll slide that left leg forwards. Stay in pigeon if you're okay in pigeon. If it's not for you, don't stay there. You're going to come down onto your back. Instead, bring the sole of the left foot to the ground with that left knee bent, crossing the right ankle over the left knee. If pigeon isn't for you, you'll come into figure 4. You can take your figure 4 deeper by picking up the left foot and sliding your right hand through the space between the thighs, interlacing hands behind that thigh, bringing left thigh closer to you and pressing your right elbow into the right thigh to press it away from you. All right, so you got your option. Allow your body to soften here. You want to keep those hips fairly level. So if you didn't bring a prop underneath your left hip, or right hip, I should say, you might want to do that. And soften for a few more rounds of your breath. Allow the flow of the breath to be nice and even and smooth. The exhale helps you access a little bit more space. It may not be the most comfortable pose, but it's through those uncomfortable postures that we grow. We find a little more spaciousness. Just breathe into it. Your exhales help you release a little bit more. We're going to take one more breath in and out. And when you're ready, ease yourself on back up. From here, maybe playing in upright pigeon, just hanging out here for a little bit. Take a little curl of that left hip forwards. If you're going to play with a little bit of king pigeon here, sweep the left arm behind you, bend that left knee, reach for the inside and the top of the foot to the front of your ankle. So this could be where you're going to hang out or not. Maybe you're going to pick up the right hand to play with balance. Perhaps you're going to bring the toes of the left foot into the elbow of the left hand and sweep the right arm up overhead, maybe coming towards a bind. Keep the heart lifting. Stay with your breath for another 3 and 2 and 1. If you come into the bind, let's release. Hands come back, shoulder distance apart. Tuck those back toes under. Let's step it back to downward facing dog. So nice and easy, releasing your downward facing dog, giving yourself a moment to integrate all of that energy, that flow you just created inside. Maybe a little sway of your hips. In a moment, we are going to walk or step up to the top of the mat and then come to sit in the middle of the mat. So coming onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forwards, step or walk forwards, and then sit down. Sitting in the middle of your mat. Awesome. Let's extend the legs straight ahead of you. Beautiful. Coming up to sit nice and tall, aligning ears, shoulders, and hips. Feet are in flexion, toes pull to you, heels press away. Your hands can rest on your thighs if that feels okay for you. Maybe arms to the side. Find that beautiful length and lift up through the heart. Softening down through the shoulder blades. Checking in here with your sits bones connecting into the earth. Eyes closed. Spine is straight, super straight. We're going to come into a centering forward fold. Bring your arms out to the side. Inhale, lift your arms on up. Releasing shoulders. Exhale, bow it forwards. Hands to the ground. Hands to the feet, wherever they land. You don't have to touch the feet. Touching the feet feels like it's the goal and you're pulling through the shoulders. It's a little too much quite yet. Maybe bend the knees a little first. Reach the heart forwards. Soften the shoulders back. And soften. Softening the weight of your body down. All right, let's use that next in-breath to nice and easy roll yourself on up. Good. And as you come on up, bring your hands up to shoulder height and roll yourself down. One vertebra at a time. Keep the heels on the ground as you slowly lower yourself down to the earth. Do it slower than you've ever done it with those heels on the ground the whole time. Really good. Nice and easy. You got it. Once you've come all the way down, rest your head on the ground, point through the toes, sweep your arms up overhead. Take a deep breath in and out. Opening up the arms to the side, palms of your hands facing up to the sky. Feet walk in toward your body, knees draw in toward your chest. Take a breath in And exhale your knees to the right. Just release with a little twist here. Knees go to the right, right hand can come outside of the left knee. And you look to the left side. Now check this out and see how this feels for you. If you want to stay here, that's perfect. If twisted roots is calling, then cross your left knee over the right. Maybe wrap the left foot around the right ankle. And just soften here. Just let go. And take 3 more rounds of breath. Releasing the right hand, looking back towards the ceiling. Inhale to float the knees up through center. If you cross the legs, you can uncross them. Knees into the chest, breathe in. And exhale, knees over towards the left. If you already know you want to do twisted roots, right knee crosses, left wrap the ankles. Otherwise, keep the shins side by side as the knees draw over to the left. Your left hand can land outside of the right knee or outside of the knees here as you look the opposite direction, turning your head. Beautiful ringing out for the spine. Twists are great for your back. Your internal organs get a really nice massage here. As you just allow yourself to soften into the space. Let gravity do it for you. And 2 more rounds of breath. Releasing the left hand, looking back towards the ceiling. Use your next inhale and your core strength. Float those knees up. If your legs are crossed, uncross them and exhale into a little ball. Bring your hands onto the shins. Bring your nose up towards the knees. Maybe you want to rock side to side. See what feels okay for you here. When you're ready, we're going to come into a tiny ball, nose to the knee, squeeze it tiny, small, small, small. Take a breath in. And exhale into your Shavasana. Release the feet out to those far corners of your mat. Open up your arms. Chin a little bit into the throat so your neck is long. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back and let go. Relaxing your feet. Let them get heavy. Soften your ankles. Releasing your shins and your calves and your knees. Soften up the legs into the hip joints. Release the glutes. Feel the weight of your hips sinking down. Low back releases. Belly softens. Mid back, upper back gets heavy. Soften your fingertips, your wrists, and your forearms. Release the elbows, upper arms, shoulders. Relax your throat, the sides and the back of your neck. Soften under the base of the skull, behind the ears, and your jaw. Relax your cheeks, your eyes, between the eyes. Soften your forehead and the crown of your head. And give yourself permission to just be here, lingering in these beautiful sensations as you start to absorb all the benefits of your practice. You can stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like to. When you feel like it's time for you to start to move, start with your breath, then take deeper breaths in through your nose and release fuller breaths out through the nose. Bring awareness back into the breath to begin the awakening process, and then you can wiggle fingers and toes, turning hands and feet and arms and legs, maybe your head side to side. If anyone wants to stretch to awaken, go for it. And when you are ready to come all the way on up, walk your feet in towards your body, rolling over to your right side. If you keep your eyes closed, you'll stay more focused on you. Lift yourself on up into a seated pose. And sitting nice and tall, maybe bring your hands into prayer at heart center or palms over your heart center. Feeling beautifully aligned from the tailbone to the crown of your head, connecting you with the earth and with the sky. Lift your beautiful heart up into your hands. Tune in with that amazing energy and truth of you. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Bowing your head to your heart to seal your practice. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for getting to the mat today, for doing this work to care for and honor you. If you set an intention, remember your intention. Think about carrying it through the rest of your day or days ahead. And when you're ready, blinking your eyes open and lifting your gaze. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.